Hello, good morning dear students, greetings of the day. So once again, welcome all of you in this present offline class. This is revision part 2, standard 6, social science, and that we have been discussing from last 1 week is that chapter number 6, Mauryan age, Chandragupta and Emperor Ashoka. In first offline revision video, my dear students, we have discussed about Chandragupta, how he extended his empire in the some of the part of North India and as well as some of the part of South India. After we discussed about extension and last we have discussed about the administration in the Chandragupta's empire. So in this present lecture, without wasting our time, we are going to learn, we are going to revise Grand Trunk Road, Ashoka's ascension to the throne, Kalinga War and the result of Kalinga War. So as we have discussed about all these topics, first we are going to discuss about Grand Trunk Road, GTR. Okay, Chandragupta spent the last time of his life with the Jain Muni Pradip Bahu. Okay, Bhadra Bahu, that we know, Bhadra Bahu. Last time he spent with Jain Muni Bhadra Bahu in Shravan Belogowda of Mysore. Now it is situated in Karnataka. So this is the basic introduction that I am going to give you. So the history before establishment of Mauryan dynasty in India called prehistory. The exact and supporting information of Mauryan dynasty is available from various sources. The Mauryan empire established by Chandragupta Maurya that we have discussed with the help of Vishnugupta. It is called Chanakya. Kautilya is said to be the first historical empire of India. The first historical Chandragupta Mauryan age. So he established, he extended his empire. Now, GTR, Grand Trunk Road. What is that? Grand Trunk Road. It is the oldest and longest road in the Asian continent. It is the oldest and as well as the longest road in Asia continent, as well as the road was at first constructed at the time of Chandragupta Maurya. So it was first constructed in the time of Chandragupta Maurya. Who constructed in whose time? In the time of Chandragupta Maurya. It is used to connect Tamilpatri with Takshashila. Tamilpati with Takshashila and Takshashila with Central Asia. So some of the part of the Asia like Tamilpati, Takshashila and some of the part of Asia. Takshashila to some of the part of Asia continent. The road was rebuilt during the reign of Sher Suri. Rebuilt this road, Grand Trunk Road. Who reconstructed Sher Suri? During British rule, Dalhousie rebuilt the road from Kolkata to Peshawar. Another name, Dalhousie. Rebuilt the Kolkata to Peshawar. Peshawar right now it is situated in Pakistan, and Kolkata it is situated in West Bengal. So at present this road is known as the National Highway from Delhi to Kolkata. National Highway number 8 or 1 it is known as. It is the part of the Golden Corridor Trail, Delhi to Kolkata. It is known as, right now it is present there in the North India between Delhi to Kolkata. Delhi is situated in North India, the capital of India, and Kolkata it is situated in East India. Okay. Second topic, Ashoka's ascension to the throne. How he became the great ruler, how he became the great emperor of the Mauryan age, that we are going to revise once again. So Ashoka is regarded as one of the most popular rulers of ancient India. One of the most. Why? That we are going to revise, and we have already completed. We have already discussed with you why he was considered as the greatest Indian ruler, greatest Indian emperor of the Indian history. So we are going to revise some of the basic reasons why he was considered as the greatest rulers of Indian history. Yes, he belonged to the Mauryan dynasty. He was born in about 302 BC, 300. Another topic that we are going to revise. 302 BC, around born year. During Bindusara's reign, he served as the governor of the Taxila and Ujjain, and thus got enough experience of administration. During the reign of Bindusara, he was the governor. Who? Ashoka was the governor of two main provinces. First one is Ujjain, and second one is Takshashila. So he had the great experience of how to administer the different states, different provinces. So he had a great experience how to run, how to manage, how to administrate. So that's why he succeeded to the throne after his father's death in 273 BC. So after the death of Bindusara, he was ascended to the throne of Mauryan dynasty in the year of 273 BC, after the death of his father Bindusara. Just remind yourself, these are the important keywords that I am going to write down on this present whiteboard. So, but his condition ceremony was held 4 years later in 269 BC. 269 BC. The ascension ceremony at the throne was held after the 4 years. Probably the delay of 4 years was due to the war of succession in which Ashoka defeated his elder brother Susiva and assumed the title of Devanam Priya, the beloved of God. So what happened during these 4 years? So he defeated his brother, his elder brother Susiva, and assumed the title of Devanam. Devanam Priya. Devanam Priya. There is one meaning over here. Devanam Priya means the beloved of gods. Of beloved of God. Priyadarshi, another name that he achieved, Priyadarshi. Priyadarshi means very good looking, very handsome looking. Yes. Now that is the ascension of the throne. How he ascended to the throne after the death of his father in 273 BC. But because he defeated during these 4 years, he conquered with his elder brother and defeated him. And after he gained the name of Devanapriya means the beloved of God, and also achieved the name of Priyadarshini. It means handsome looking or good looking. Now, next point, Kalinga War is very important. Why? We have discussed why it is very important. So, what happened during that time? Yes, the Kalinga War. It took place in the year of 261 BC. Around 261 BC. The conquest of Kalinga by Ashoka was perhaps the most important event of his reign. Most important. Still we are remembering. Why? We have discussed then how the war of Kalinga changed the life of Ashoka, changed the mentality, changed the ideology, changed the way of living. And how it really affected his whole life and affected their whole empire. And what happened after the war of Kalinga, that we are going to revise. So Ashoka had inherited a vast empire from his grandfather, that we have discussed. But what happened? But Kalinga, the modern province of Orissa, Kalinga, it is situated. The place it is situated in Orissa. So all the Mauryan dynasty, they wanted to defeat Kalinga. It is situated in Orissa right now. They were not succeeded to watch that province, but with the help of with the policy, Ashoka believed in the traditional policy of conquest and aggression, could not tolerate the existence of an independent state on the borders of his empire. He wanted to extend his boundary to the South India. So he wanted to trade the business through this Kalinga, through this place. But they were not succeeded. But after trying, after defeating, he attacked in 261 BC. In 261 BC. And what happened? The Kalinga people offered tough resistance, but they were ultimately overpowered by the mighty Mauryan army. That time, it was considered that Mauryan army considered as a very strong, very brave, everything they had. So that's why the people of Kalinga could not able to over the army of Kalinga, and that's why they surrendered them to the Mauryan army, the army of King Ashoka, the army of Emperor Ashoka. So we came to know that the Kalinga people suffered much, as many as 150,000 persons were captured. 150,000. 150,000 people captured during this war. Captured by whom? Captured by the Mauryan army. And they suffered a lot. Who? The people of Kalinga suffered a lot during this war, during this conquest. So now, 100,000 were slain, and many times they number died. Lots of bloodshed. Why? The war of Kalinga is considered how he changed. So these are the main reasons. Bloodshed, lots of people captured, murdered, uncountable people, lots of bloodshed. bloodshed, captured, murdered. Millions, thousands of people were died during this war. Thousands were murdered, thousands were cast out, captured, and this kind of bloodshed had deeply impacted, deeply affected the life of Ashoka. As you know that number of people died, and after the war took place. And what was the result? That I am going to revise. The result. The death and destruction in Kalinga made Ashoka unhappy. Death and destruction are there. Death and destruction. The person, Ashoka, was very brilliant, very sympathetic, very emphatic, very sophisticated. He was very kind, and that's why he observed bloodshed, lots of people captured, cast out from their area, from Kalinga, captured, murdered, bloodshed, war, conquest occurs. Millions, thousands people are dead during this war. The destruction, war continuous was going on at the time. So what happened? And sometimes he observed, and finally he defeated. But what happened? From inside, King Ashoka, from inside after defeating Kalinga, he was unhappy, and it leads to change his life. After winning the war of Kalinga, he was unhappy, he was discontent, he was not satisfied. Because this kind of bloodshed was continuously, simultaneously, spontaneously going on. It hurts too much. He was totally hurt, he was totally disappointed, he was totally distraught. He distraught his life. From mentally, he was totally blind. He could not able to think what was going on in his mind, in his heart. He think about the life of the others. He observed continuously something was going on in his mind, in his life during the war of Kalinga. Because of he observed, he seen that how the different people murdered, killed, destructed life, and he leads this kind of incidents changed her life and became the first monarch in the world history to abandon the path of war and violence. And after he observed all these things, my dear students, and changed the life. And after the war of Kalinga, it is believed that he was the first king, he was the first emperor who abandoned, means for a lifetime he left, abandoned everything, abandoned the path of war and violence. Path of war and violence. He was affected, deep impact of the Kalinga war that ruined their inner life, dear students. And that's why he finally decided to abandon the path of war and violence, dear students. For the next 30 years that he ruled, he never went to war and became an ardent, means very great follower of Buddha. And after the decision that had been taken by Ashoka, He never went on war, never defeated, never conquered to any king or kingdom, and he followed the path of Buddha. And you know that Buddha believed in non-violence, ahimsa, asatya, aparigraha, celibacy. These are the truths. These are the teachings of Buddha. So finally, King Asoka observed the teaching and followed the path of Buddhism after the war of Kalinga. And he changed their life, changed their way of living, changed their mentality, changed their ideology. Yes, students, after this war. And that's why the war of Kalinga considered as the greatest incident to change the life of Emperor Ashoka in the Indian history. You know that. So, never went on war and followed the path of Buddha. Upagupta, who was his guru, very one-month patient, who was the guru of Ashoka. After he go, Upagupta, first guru of Ashoka, King Ashoka, after the war. So Ashoka gave up his ambition of divinity or victory in all directions and pursued a policy of Dharma Vijay. Pursue the policy of Dharma Vijay. Now, after following the path of Buddha, he realized what is the reality of death, what is the reality of pain. He observed, he realized, and finally he changed their mind, changed his heart. He converted into different mentality. And after he followed the path of truth, non-violence and celibacy, aparigraha. So he pursued the policy of Dharma Vijay, only follow the Dharma, the path of non-violence, path of peace, the way of true living, to follow the truth, to observe the peace in their own life, to help the poor, to help to the most needy in the people. So he left the path of Digvijay, means he does not want to defeat anyone right now, at that time, at that particular time. He don't want to defeat, he don't want to achieve, he don't want to extend his boundary. After the war of Kalinga, the change were there, occurs, and pursue the policy of Dharma Vijay, only follow the Dharma given by Buddha. Okay. So, Ashoka's empire was very vast. It extended from the Brahmaputra in the east to the Hindu Kush in the north. From two sides of the India. In the east side there is Brahmaputra and other side in the west Hindu Kush. He was extended his empire. But what happened after the war of Kalinga? And you know that. So, in the north to south and west, from west to east, he extended his empire, but he finally realized the beauty of life. He realized the reality of life. So in the some portion of Nepal and Kashmir also form a part of Ashoka's empire, and you know that. So it was included the Kabul region. It is there present in Afghanistan. Just observe that I have shown you video how the extension of Emperor Ashoka and why he was considered as a great ruler of the Indian history. From north to south, from west to east, he defeated all the major rulers, all the major kings and kingdoms, and extended his empire in the South Asia. So Ashoka's dharma, which is the Pali from the Sanskrit word dharma, was a set of moral principle. So dhamra, okay, dharma, Ashoka's dharma. What is this? It is the principle of King Ashoka's set of the moral principle. Set of a moral principle. Moral virtues, the way of living, how to live a better life is there in the set of moral principle. Okay, so that we have to discuss, my dear students. So dear students, afterwards, so in this present lecture, what we have discussed? We have discussed about Grand Trunk to Ashoka's ascension to the throne, Kalinga War, and the result of Kalinga War. So if you have any doubt, any question regarding to this revision video, just try your best to find out the answer, and after working on this matter, if still you have any doubts, just call me or message me. So I will try my best to solve your problem as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye. God bless you all.